Welcome to the 10 best restaurants in Burbank. This is California, so Burbank, where all the movie studios are. One thing that's a little bit different about this grouping of restaurants versus like Beverly Hills or Hollywood or something is that this is a very like businessy area and also like where people live. So it is a lot more of like everyday kinds of places that you could go to and not necessarily like a fine dining steakhouse or like the biggest icons that like you think of when you think of like LA restaurants. So these are kind of more like hidden gems, really. For starters, this one is fine dining, but it's kind of the only one. The Smokehouse. This has been around forever. I wonder if it even says it on the sign. I don't know. This one's been around forever. It's right across from the Warner Brothers studio. It's been used in movies and stuff. They have a little section there kind of in the like lobby waiting area thing where you can see all the different times that they've been featured and stuff. It's a great place for prime rib if you like prime rib. They have their world famous garlic cheese bread. It looks like this. It's very delicious. This is their tri-tip sandwich because we went for lunch one time after we did the Warner Brothers studio tour, but we've also gone for like a graduation dinner where we did like the whole like full course dinner situation with like prime rib and everything. But this is what it looks like. It is like the one place to go in Burbank for sure. That's a little bit of a splurge. Next is Patty's Restaurant. This is technically Toluca Lake. You can see on the sign right here, but on this side is Burbank. So I'm gonna call it Burbank for the sake of it. It is practically, if you reach out, it's Burbank. So this is a great place for like celebrity sightings, actually. We saw Julia Garner. She has that blonde, like super tight curly hair, if you've never seen her. She was just, I don't know, she was just like on the phone going to the restaurant and I was like, I recognize her. So it's kind of more of like retro diner type of situation. So it's, more affordable everyday kinds of foods, but the patty melt is fantastic. I just love patty melts in general too, but this is a great patty melt. I got sweet potato fries. JP, I believe this was a Philly cheesesteak, but I was checking back on the menu and I don't see Philly cheesesteak on the menu. So I don't know if it was like a special or if it's actually something different, but it looks like a Philly cheesesteak to me. And then they have their famous chili and beans. As a little side, I recommend trying that as well. Next up, literally like across the street, the next block over is Bob's Big Boy. This is a chain. If you're from the Midwest, if you know Frisch's Big Boy, it is the exact same thing. It's called Bob's on the West Coast. But what is iconic about this one and why I recommend this specific location, this old classic sign, but they do like the car hop service that you can still see back here. And they do like car meets there too, where you can see people like bring in all the classic cars. But they also have a table where the Beatles sat in where they visited. So you can always ask to sit at the Beatles table. It's a booth. But the big difference between Midwest and California, the burgers, like the Big Boy burger. Here in Ohio, they serve it with tartar sauce, but out in California, it is served with mayo. And that's not anything that I ever thought about because I actually don't get the burgers at like when I go to Frisch's or Bob's. So it was just a fun fact that I learned that has never affected me personally, but thought it could be worth sharing in case that situation applies to you. This is the first place I took my sister when she came to visit for the Eras tour and picked her up from LAX. This is the first place we went late at night, and you can get your picture with him. So what I love here is the chili spaghetti. Being from Ohio, I love Skyline chili. It doesn't taste like Skyline chili, but it is the same concept of chili spaghetti. I absolutely love it, and the garlic bread. JP always gets the Big Boy burger. It's always just good and satisfying. And then their side salad with the honey mustard dressing just like hits the spot every time. I think it's just that little bit of like extra cheese or something, but I just love it. It just always sounds good every time we go, so we always get it. And then for some reason, I don't know how I forgot the hot fudge cake. That is like that is the thing that you go there for. I'm going to pause this really quick and show you Frisch's hot fudge cake. Okay, this is what the Bob's Big Boy hot fudge cake looks like. Back in the day, they might still do this. They were doing, and I didn't even know when I posted this, but they were doing like a photo of the week winner thing. So I had posted this and they had reached out and asked if they could share it. And so then they posted it as like their photo of the week, and then they sent us like $50, and they look like little souvenir dollars to spend there. So we spent all of them except one so that we could keep the one souvenir one. I don't think I have it nearby though. But this is their hot fudge cake. You absolutely have to get it for dessert, so make sure you save room for it. Okay, now back to next one, Ribs USA. So this is a pretty like low-key spot, again, affordable. It's across the street from the Walt Disney Studios. This is a place that JP would go to a lot. This is the pulled pork sandwich, which is really good. 9 times out of 10, I just get their mac and cheese. I don't actually eat ribs. I don't like the flavor of rib meat, and I also don't like meat with bones, but JP loves it, obviously, or else we wouldn't go. So this is a good little spot for that. You can see that they have wings, ribs, burgers, barbecue chicken, and that it's a good little low-key spot. So if you're going over to the Disney Studios at all, this is a good place that's just across the street. Another great restaurant is the Daily Grill. This is a very small chain. So they have one at LAX, they have one in Palm Desert, and one in Houston. I don't know if they're all airport ones, I'm not really sure, but this one's right outside the Burbank airport. This is the panko crusted trout, and then we got risotto and mac and cheese as sides, which is like very carb heavy, but those are like my two go-to foods. Like if I see mac and cheese on a menu, especially if it's just a side, I like to try it. And then I just love risotto, and JP and I were like sharing all of this because we had just been out and about in the area, so we just wanted a little something before going home. This is their chocolate lava bundt cake. And then this is the key lime pie. We took that one to go because we really wanted key lime pie, but I just love chocolate lava cake too. So I was like, well, why don't we just eat chocolate lava cake here, and then we'll take key lime pie to go and have it like later or the next day or something. So this place is really nice. TAP or TAP. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. This one is like right off the highway. It's by the mall. You build your own Asian rice bowl, and there's like a million toppings to choose from. So like this is what I ended up getting, and then you just like, you know, do the little Kardashian salad shake thing, if you know what I'm talking about. So I did like this Thai purple rice. I got teriyaki sauce, chicken, grilled veggies, corn, cucumbers, red onion, beans. I love bean sprouts. Like I don't know what it is about them, but I love them. So this was a very good, just like, I don't know, to go light, refreshing, but you feel like you're indulging because you picked all these different things, but it's a fairly light thing. So I really like this one. Frontier Walk. So this is a place that JP used to go to when he worked in the area that he had just completely forgotten about, except we were just driving there in the area one time, and he's like, oh my gosh, we should go to that place. And so I was like, we should go. It's on Olive Avenue. It's kind of the halfway point. So like if Burbank is kind of like this long stretch really, so you have this whole area over here would be like the Disney Studios and Warner Brothers Studios, and then over here on this side would be like the Town Center Mall, whatever. Olive Avenue kind of goes down the whole thing. So Frontier Walk is kind of like right there in the middle, but I mean it's not a huge area, so that's just where it's at. I love wonton soup, so I had that. Jake got the hot and sour soup, which is good, but I don't really do like spicy, so it's a little too much for me. But yeah, we got different soups that time, which is very rare. But I think since they were just like little little personal sized, maybe that's why he deviated a little bit. For our meat, the barbecue bao buns, I absolutely love these. Like I just love the texture of just how thick it is. These are so good. And then we got the chow fun noodles. I don't know what kind of meat we got in them. I feel like it's definitely a toss up, like chicken, pork, beef. Like we honestly could have gotten anything, and I can't really tell from the picture, but these were super delicious. This is it's a pretty like low-key kind of place. Just like, I can't really think if LA is kind of the same way, but like here in Ohio, all the like Chinese restaurants are like mom and pop family things. None of them are like these big elaborate fancy like kind of places. So this is, just your typical place like that. Next up is Granville. So they have a few locations. Burbank's the only one that we've been to though. I don't remember what this drink was, but they have a really good like handcrafted cocktail list. I probably just went with whatever sounded the most like tropical, light, refreshy kind of thing. For our appetizer, we got the butternut squash soup, which I absolutely love. This is very good. And then for our meal, we got a couple different things. So the Uptown mac and cheese is a little bit of a fancy mac and cheese because you got like aged cheddar Gruyere cheese and it's got like asparagus and peas in it. It looked like a scramble for a second and I had to like look it up to make sure. But yeah, it is a mac and cheese. It's got like chicken in it. And then this is like a Santa Barbara Club sandwich, chicken sandwich, and it's got roasted peppers, caramelized onions, garlic aioli, a basil pine nut pesto, smoked mozzarella chicken, and then it has these like potato chip fries. This place is really nice. JP has had a lot of like business lunches here. So then we just went one time so that I could say that I had been as well. And you can kind of see the setup. It's a pretty nice place. And then kind of back to more casual quick service types of things. So Doghouse is a popular chain. They do like burgers, hot dogs, sandwiches, fries, tater tots. It's all very, you know, greasy, cheesy kind of thing and also cheap. They have a beer garden location that's up by the airport, and then they have this location that we went to that is next to the Warner Brothers studios. So this is how like cheesy and saucy like the burgers are. This was like, oh gosh, this photo would have been probably from like 2017 or 2018 because this is like from posting it on like Snapchat, I think. And then these are like the loaded fries. We've also been to Doghouse in Vegas. And I feel like I've been to another Doghouse location because we got actual hot dogs, you know, because it's in the name. And I think they had like deep fried Oreos. But yeah, I've gone to a few different locations here and I've gone a few times and it's all pretty good. Indulgent little foods. And then lastly, In-N-Out. If you've never been to In-N-Out, you definitely should go at least once, especially if you live in an area that doesn't really have them. My go-to order, I get a single cheeseburger with grilled onions and animal style fries. So you can see kind of here, it kind of looks like a jam, but it's actually just grilled onions. I get that. And then this is the animal style fries. So it's got like the cheese, the grilled onions, and the sauce. JP and I share the animal style fries. I don't eat the whole thing myself, but JP indulges a little bit more. He gets double, which is same thing, but two patties. And then he also gets a strawberry milkshake. In-N-Out is quite cheap as well. They're usually pretty busy, but they're pretty efficient as well. Whether you do drive through or dine in, doesn't really matter. Some fun things to do when you're in Burbank. So I love to do the studio tour. So Warner Brothers and Walt Disney Studios are right there. When I worked at Disneyland, fun fact, as a Disney employee, your ID gets you onto the studio lot. So as long as there's not like something going on where they have like restricted access, you can just go because they have a studio store. So you can go and be like, oh, well, I wanted to, you know, get this thing from the store. And it's like, okay. And they have like the commissary, you know, the little cafeteria thing. But you also can kind of walk around. You just can't go to like restricted, unauthorized areas. But I used to do this a lot when I worked at Disneyland, just to see, which was really cool. And I was able to bring my family one time, which was really great, because they love Disney. I got a private tour one time too, as an intern, which was great. But the Walt Disney Studios usually isn't open to the public, but Warner Brothers Studios is and has a lot of really great tours. So I recommend doing that. I also have a blog post of like secret spots in LA that most people don't really think to go to or just never get to go to because they're only doing like the main things. So I definitely recommend checking that out because there's definitely some stuff in Burbank that's on the list. If you've never been to Universal Hollywood, I definitely recommend going. They have some newer stuff in the last few years and some new stuff coming. So if you just haven't been in a few years, you should check it out again. If you're visiting in the fall, there's a couple events nearby that are really popular. So in Calabasas, they have an event called Nights of the Jack. And at Descanso Gardens, they also do a Halloween event. And then if you're visiting in the winter, the LA Zoo does holiday lights. Here's a photo from when I was interning at Disneyland and we got our private tour and we all got to hold one of Walt Disney's Oscars at Walt Disney Archives. Where to stay near Burbank. So I was looking at everywhere that I've ever stayed in the area and I've never stayed in the Burbank area like overnight. So I just decided to look at LA in general. And my favorite place that we have stayed is the Beverly Wilshire. We stayed just for one night for New Year's one time. It's the hotel from Pretty Woman, the movie with Julia Roberts. if you've never seen it, or if it sounded familiar but you didn't know where you know it from. It's a Four Seasons hotel, so it is quite pricey, but it is a good little splurge to do once to cross it off your bucket list. It's right there at the foot of Rodeo Drive, so you can walk around the shops and go to the restaurants, and it's all super convenient because it's all just right there and walkable. I do have some other posts for favorite restaurants in the area. So I have a post for Glendale, Westwood, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, and the Fairfax district. These are all a little bit smaller. They have about 5 or so posts, anywhere from like 5 to 10. And then I also have a list of our favorite restaurants in LA. This one is everything that's not in any of these areas. The only thing that might have crossover is like In-N-Out, because it's just one of those, if like everyone knows it and it's not available everywhere. So if you've never had it, you should try it, kind of thing. I do also have this free guide for free things to do in LA. You just have to put in your name and email and it'll just send it to you. And that is everything I have for our favorite restaurants in Burbank.